it up, run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up, count it up. Hey, hundreds and fifties and 20s, no fives and no singles, don't count on them. Hey, she want it like me cause her blame, she can't count on him.
Okay, Coach, on a wonderful fall afternoon in the state of Texas, the roof is open and we've got football from NRG Stadium in Houston. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
Come on, Martin. Mike 51. It's just me and you. It's just me and you.
A first carry for Leonard Fournette. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed. But
he rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD. And the defense could not have written a much better script than that first drive, pick 6.
The offense never got a chance to really get oiled up there, did they? But the defense, they certainly got in gear. What a big-time play and a great way for them to start.
And now the offense, they've got to turn things around and figure this out because your backs are on the ground real quickly.
Yeah, usually when you're starting the game getting the ball, 0-0 is the only score you're worried about. Now the second time you get it, you're already down a touchdown.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Get nowhere. Going nowhere.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty.
It's just me and you. It's just me and you. It's just me and you. Check 99.
Here's Foles. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Dylan Cole. First quarter, and now he already has 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's got to guard against being tentative from this point forward, though. He's got to still make the right reads, make the proper throws. I've seen guys in this league throw 4 interceptions in a game and win. He's got to understand, put it behind you, keep pressing forward.
Hey, you don't want to see me. You don't want me. Watch Twitch. Watch Twitch. Wrong.
Now the Auburn product, Corey Grant. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
SOS. Hey, watch it.
This is Grant. He'll have a first down inside the 10. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Corey Grant. Touchdown number 15 on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. Early on, they have all facets of the game working in tandem.
Yeah, you give the defensive touchdown early to give you the first score, and then your offense piggybacks on top of that and gets their own. And any coach we've ever talked to, and we've had that conversation with them prior to the game, they always say, if we can score on defense or special teams, that gives us like a 95% chance of winning the game. I don't know if that number's correct, but it certainly does tend to play out that way, doesn't it?
It does. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points get that 0 off the board. So the loss of a yard, and now 2nd and 11 from the 24-yard line.
Here we go. Check him up. Check the call. Check the call. 51's the mic. 51's the mic. Watch the screen.
Now Leonard Fournette. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Pick!
Now Foles. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one goes for 24 yards.
First down, Jacksonville.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 47. This is Fournette. And, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. The free safety roaming all the way up to the line of scrimmage to make that stop.
How about his ability to trust his eyes and figure out it was not a pass play and go fast towards the line of scrimmage in order to make that tackle?
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Just like that. Just like that.
Motion!
'51's the mic, boy. 51.
They'll run with Fournette. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 11 yards there, 1st down.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
Pretty good results here on the 1st down run as he takes this forward for about 6. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far is working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
51's the mic. Hey.
On 2nd down, here's Fournette. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit, and find our way back into this game.
Mike 51.
Fournette, a 1st down carry. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
14-0 to score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The Jags with the football to begin the second quarter as they've got it with a first down coming up.
Let's go!
Check 55 to Mike. 65, 65, 65.
After the penalty, it's Fournette. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up second. Now keep in mind, if you're thinking of staying on the ground, this is a top-5 rush defense.
Yeah, but I don't think you shy away totally with the run. At least show them the hint of a run before you decide to throw the football.
Watch the ship. Hey, watch the ship.
13.
Looking to throw on second down. Foles. And he rifles one incomplete. D.D. Westbrook, his intended receiver. And that takes us from second to third down. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it. When you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
Under.
Mike 51.
Foles. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. DJ Reader coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th. Now a field goal try coming up here for the Jags. This one from 46 yards out. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
At their own 25-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now Watson. And Stills bringing it in. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked by Ronnie Harrison. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. This defense had 3 interceptions last week. They're on pace for more than that here, 2 in the first half.
Do not adjust your set. This is not instant replay. This is a defense that is locked in. They're essentially running the routes for the receivers and turning it into the receivers themselves, aren't they? I mean, it is amazing what I'm seeing because the reactions of those guys back on the back 7, phenomenal.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 11 yards there for Jacksonville and a first down as well.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Let's get off the field. Let's get off the field.
They keep it with Fournette on first down. call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Now Fournette. And he stopped immediately there. Bud Dupree, a former first-round pick, in on the stop.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on 3rd down. Now back to throw. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. A tale of two extremes already in this game. A touchdown pass on their opening drive, followed by an interception last time out.
Now, it sounds like things balance out, right? What's that mythological thing that we do? If you have a candy bar, have a diet soda with it, it balances it out. And we know that's not really true, right? Because the interception, that sting lingers a little bit longer. Got to come out now and put together some nice plays.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Shoot. Check 43.
They will run with Grant. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Houston. Corey Grant, his second TD of the game and 16th on the season. And the Texans are able to show off their quick strike ability. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the lead is up to 15 now. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. 2nd and 14. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Tashawn Gibson. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. So that is 3 interceptions now in this first half. And you hate to ask the question, but let's be honest. We're thinking about it. Do you need to go in a different direction next series?
Potentially. We know that he's probably not going to be on the Pro Bowl ballot. That's not really his stature here. But he has been their starting quarterback for this game. So they've got to weigh things about who's behind him. Do they think he can snap it back into gear? Maybe change up the play calling to help him out a little bit.
First and 10 at the 21-yard line.
All day, dog. Double time.
Watson on first down. It's complete to Hopkins. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
On 2nd down, it's Grant. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal.
Check the backer. Kill.
Here's Grant. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Corey Grant as time expires in the first half. And the Texans push further out in front. Big decision there. They say forget the field goal and go for it, and it pays off.
I wonder who was in the ear of the head coach on this one. Did he make this call on his own? Or maybe the analytics coach got involved. And a lot of times you talk about that all week before the game. Hey, if we're in certain situations, analytics actually says do it this way, which might be against the norm. And it paid off for them in a really nice way.
Cashing in and there on the final play of the first half. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the 3rd quarter. This will be taken about the 12. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30.
At their own 33-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 right at the 40. Watson now to throw. Open man is Ross, complete. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
Dancing to his left.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Watson. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. So back-to-back incompletions. 3rd down here in 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
Completes this to Waring. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They turn to the fullback, Gillespie, and trying to push forward, but he is going to be stuffed up in the backfield. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll bring up a 2nd and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
Well, they made the play there, and I'll guarantee you their coaches and the other players are screaming at them about their pride. Come on, guys. He's already gotten in 3 times. You can't give up a 4th one. And on that play, they were able to make the stop.
And you knew they were going to go to him to try to get that 4th.
And why wouldn't they? It's not just getting the 4th. He's the hot hand, so to speak, right?
And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. John Ross. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route. Ordinarily, it's probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. This fielded at the 2. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Again, it's Fournette. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Watch the slant. Watch the slant.
They'll try and run for it with Fournette. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue. And, Charles, you look at this offense, their struggles moving the ball well documented. Dead last in the NFL in first downs, but signs of life there.
Yeah, and you and I do, I think, a really good job of respecting the game and respecting the teams. But this squad, they're in a position now where their fan base gets excited when they pick up a first down. They cheer almost like they picked up a touchdown.
Sliding. 51. It's coming this way. Here we go.
Out of the pistol, it's Fournette. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
51, Mike 51. Army.
Fournette trying to run inside, but nothing there. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long.
And it's 3rd down.
Hey, D-line, let's get in there.
They'll set up to throw. Looking downfield, and that's caught right side. He's got his man. The end result, 21 yards. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. A small bit of adversity here on what's been a strong drive as they come up 2nd and 12.
We own them. Check.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Bud Dupree, credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6.
Well, nothing takes a start to have a good drive quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Tashawn Gibson. And it's a big turnover there on the final play of the quarter. Back now in Houston. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. After the interception, here's Watson. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
And he won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Watson. He's going to look deep, end zone for Hopkins. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Despite the lead here in the 4th, they're still taking shots.
Not content to sit on this lead at all. And to me, it raises the question of what's right in this game nowadays. Do you sit on the ball and run it because you have enough of a lead? Or do you try and extend it because you always feel like the other team can come back?
Extend it. Have some fun. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Flushed out right. And this is going to be incomplete. Bill O'Brien rolls the dice, but to no avail. And the Jaguars are going to take possession here on the turnover on downs. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Foles. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Bud Dupree picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
It's a net of 40 there. A punt of 48 and a return of 8. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we can probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
23 yards on the play. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Faking the give. Now Watson. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. but as many people pointed out to me, this is a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
So they are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
Then they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
They'll run it again with Fournette. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
We've called a lot of games, but we don't normally talk about inside linebackers being that fleet of foot, do we?
No, he was able to get outside there to make that play.
Yeah, and you know what makes them faster? Their ability to read plays, understand what offenses are trying to do, and put themselves in proper position.
Here we go.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Logan Cook now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Look at the dance and the juke. Good blocking there. Nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Got a man open. It's Ross. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Let's go, tackle. Let's go. We got this. We got this. Alert 3. Alert 3. Alert 3. Check safety. Check safety. Switch.
On first down, Grant. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. 11 more on that one and another first down. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
Exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head.
But that's
the
about
virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
At their own 25-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defense